Sangre. A short time later, on the road back to Rio Sangre, the farmers and the vampires walked along in two groups. The undead took the lead. Behind them, Herman turned to Fernando.
What's the pueblo going to say when we bring them back?
Let's make sure we get there first. We'll worry about that later.
We'll just tell them we did our best. They'll understand.
Understand that we invited a pack of vampires to their homes? They'll hang us.
Up ahead, Snake Eyes turned to Priest.
How far did you say this godforsaken pueblo was?
50 miles.
That's going to take 2 nights at this pace.
Shade glanced back at the farmers.
Be a lot quicker without them.
We better get there soon or we might be shy a few farmers.
That's not funny.
Snake Eyes smirked.
Who was joking?
Nearby, Nightwing walked along alone, lost in thought. Carlos approached him.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you something? Why did you take this job?
Why do you ask?
I don't know. You just seem different.
My people have always called my kind when there's trouble. In our culture, we are not feared. We are respected as great spirits of the night.
Just then, Paco looked back over his shoulder. He saw something moving around in the darkness.
Priest, I thought I saw something behind us.
Priest stopped and looked into the darkness, but he saw nothing.
Probably just a coyote.
Suddenly a figure appeared in front of them. It was a man. He was leaning against a cactus, scratching his chin. It was Razors.
Hey, look, it's the drunk one.
Hey, look, it's my dessert.
I told you to get lost.
Oh, come on, Hefe. Don't be like that. I was only kidding.
Razors smiled and put his arm around Herman and Carlos.
I love these damn stupid farmers. Hell, I'll even let you in on a little secret.
Razors looked at Herman.
Once, long ago, I was a loser just like you. Does that surprise you?
Herman shook his head.
Why not?
I don't know. Please, don't eat me.
Leave him alone.
Relax, Hefe. I'm on your side. I know what it's like trying to feed your family, pulling a few mangy weeds out of the rotten soil. I pity you fools. That's why I came.
Don't lie. You don't give a damn about us. You just want some blood and tequila.
Razors rubbed his chin.
Maybe. What's wrong with that?
He took a sip from his tequila and blood mix.
But I'll let you in on another secret. I always keeps my word. If I say I'm going to kill you, you're dead. Remember that. I always keep my word. Well, most of the time.
Suddenly, Priest grabbed Razors
Get your drunk ass back to Santa Fe.
and hurled him back down the road. Priest shook his head, glad to finally be rid of him. He turned back around, but to his dismay, Razors was standing in front of him again.
The way I see it, Hefe, you got a good team here. You're the brains. Him right there, he's the muscle. She's the beauty. He's the speed. But you're missing something. You know what it is?
I'm sure you're enlightening us.
Razors grabbed his crotch.
The cojones. And that's where good old Razor comes in. I ain't scared of nothing. Come on, Hefe, we both know you're gonna need my help. How many bandits you got waiting for you anyway? 50? 60?
200.
Razor's mouth hung open. The other vampires looked at each other. They were stunned too.
200 against 4?
You didn't mention there were that many, Priest.
You didn't ask.
That's a lot to take out, even for us.
You don't like your odds. Cash in your chips and quit the game.
The vampires considered this.
When I give my word, I don't take it back.
It's a big job. I hate to say it, but
Snake Eyes gestured at Razors.
maybe we do need this worthless mutt.
There you go. Wait, what'd you just call me?
I don't give a damn, as long as he stays downwind from me.
Priest sighed.
Stay away from our hosts. And me.
You won't even know I'm here.
Priest turned to the others.
The sun will be coming up soon. There is an old cemetery up the road. We'll stop there for the day.
Priest headed on. Razors mumbled to himself.
You know, for a guy that doesn't get out much, he sure seems to know his way around.
I got a better name for you than Razors. I think I'm gonna call you Mumbles.
Mumbles? I don't think so. It's Razors.
I like it. Mumbles.
It has a certain ring to it.
Oh, no. You ain't gonna start that crap with me.
Whatever you say, Mumbles.
Mumbles.
Razors gave Paco a dirty look and took a swig of tequila. It was noon. Several hours later, the farmers sat in the middle of an old graveyard among the broken tombstones. They were sharing a couple tortillas, the last of their food.
I'm still starving.
Me too.
If we're this hungry, what about them?
Carlos turned and pointed at an old tomb. It was a large structure built of stone that housed several graves.
Let's just leave now.
And then what?
The Padre's right. We don't have a choice.
Herman started to weep.
Don't start that again.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it.
As the men continued to talk, Paco wandered away. He headed up to the tomb, staring at it curiously. Paco went up to the door and opened it. He peered inside. The inside of the tomb was dark. Scorpions crawled along the floor. Paco entered, stepping over an old skeleton. He looked at the tomb wall. The vampires had taken refuge in the alcove spaces, lying down with their eyes shut. They looked dead. But Paco heard Razors mumbling in his sleep. Paco turned to the next alcove. Priest was lying in this one. As Paco peered in at him, he noticed a small object around Priest's neck. It was a necklace. Paco reached out and took it in his hand. It had a clasp pendant at the end. There was an inscription on it. Paco made out 2 words etched into the metal. My beloved. Suddenly a pale hand grabbed him by the wrist. Priest sat up in his alcove, holding Paco by the arm. His eyes fluttered open, but they were just milky white pupils. Priest sat there, not moving. Paco realized the priest was still asleep. Just then, Paco heard Fernando calling him from outside.
Paco! Where the hell are you, boy?
Paco gave Priest a gentle push, and he slid back down again. Paco turned and scurried out of the tomb. Paco exited the tomb, but he ran right into Fernando, who grabbed him and shook him hard.
What were you doing in there?
Nothing. I just wanted to see how they sleep.
Who the hell cares how they sleep? This isn't a game. Stay away from them. They're monsters.
A look of anger and defiance shot across Paco's face.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Paco ran off. Fernando shook his head.
That boy.
It was the night. The farmers and the vampires continued walking along the road. Shade turned to Nightwing.
I haven't done this much walking since.
You were human?
Shade nodded.
Do you miss it?
No. When I was human, I was weak. That's how men took advantage of me. First, it was my father, sold me to a cat house when I was 10 to pay off his bar tab. On my 13th birthday, they made it official. I was one of them now, a whore.
Sad memories flashed through Shade's mind of lying in a dirty room as man after man came in and used her.
I don't know how many men came and went from that room. I stopped counting after a while. Some were okay, but some weren't. One night, he came.
Memories of the night when she was turned filled Shade's mind. She was walking the streets near the cat house late at night, when suddenly a man stepped out of the shadows. He was dressed all in black. His face was covered by his black hat. Shade thought he was a customer.
Okay, mister. What would you like?
I'd like to free you from your suffering, child.
The man removed his hat, revealing his piercing red eyes and long fangs. Shade screamed, but the vampire leaped on her. He bit her neck. After he had drained her to the point of near death, he bit down on his own wrist and poured his own blood into her throat. After he was done, he put his hat back on and left. Shay laid in the alley in a deep trance. Slowly her eyes changed from human to the piercing red eyes of a vampire.
After that, I wasn't a victim anymore. I was a hunter. But enough about me. What's your story, Snake Eyes?
There's nothing to tell.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Well, I think I heard a funny story about you once. Something about how you used to be a hell of a gambler until you got in the wrong poker game.
Snake Eyes' mind flashed back to a memory. Back when he was human. He was playing cards in a back room of a saloon against a bunch of mangy-looking cowboys. He laid down his hand.
Straight flush to the king.
Son of a bitch. The cowboys threw their cards down in disgust. Snake Eyes reached for the pot, but the lead cowboy, a big tough hombre named Stumps, stopped him. That's my money, you goddamn cheat. Snake Eyes gave him a cold stare.
Walk away.
Can't. The room went deadly quiet. Snake Eyes took a long drag of his cigar. The cowboys all reached for their guns, but Snake Eyes whipped his gun out and shot them all dead. He surveyed their bodies for a moment.
Sorry, gentlemen. Nothing personal.
Snake Eyes reached for the pot again, but a hand suddenly grabbed his wrist. Snake Eyes looked up in horror. Stumps was smiling at him, with his eye socket blown out. His fangs were showing now. Damn, you're fast. You're gonna come in handy, mister. Suddenly all the cowboys lifted their bloody heads up and started laughing. They leaped on Snake Eyes, sinking their fangs into his neck and legs.
Heard Stumps and his boys made you into their little bitch, hiring you out to kill for blood, till someone ratted them out.
Razor's words triggered another memory. It was a mob breaking into a basement of a ruined house. They threw open 5 coffins. Stumps and his gang were sleeping inside. The mob drove wooden stakes into their hearts. In the corner, Snake Eyes watched, smoking a cigar. Snake Eyes tipped his hat and disappeared. Back in the present day, Razors continued.
But you wouldn't know nothing about that, would you?
What's it to you?
I used to run a bar back then. Stumps and his boys were my best customers. They were my friends.
Maybe you should keep better company.
And maybe you should go to hell.
Snake Eyes and Razors moved in on each other. The farmers looked terrified. Priest cried out.
Knock it off.
Razors and Snake Eyes ignored him. In an instant, Snake Eyes whipped out his gun and shot at Razors. But somehow Razors managed to dodge him. He reached into his coat and whipped out a metal star. He hurled it at Snake Eyes, knocking the gun out of his hand. The 2 vampires charged each other. They were about to collide when Nightwing appeared between them, holding them back.
Easy, boys.
Priest stepped forward.
You want to kill each other? Go ahead. You're already dead, so who gives a damn? But the rest of us have a job to do. If you want your share, you better figure out a way to avoid each other.
Razors and Snake Eyes snarled at each other. Razors pulled out his bottle of tequila blood and took a drag. They backed away from each other. Nightwing looked at Priest.
How long before they tear each other to pieces?
Priest shrugged. It was 2 nights later. The vampires and the farmers finally reached the outskirts of a small pueblo. A wooden sign on the side of the road read, Rio Sangre. Meanwhile, at that moment, in Rio Sangre, Rosario was outside of her father's store cleaning. Umbaldo yelled at her from inside.
And don't forget to restock the cellar, you stupid girl. Last time you left bags of flour out in the open, and I almost tripped over them and broke my neck.
I wish you had.
Just then, Rosario looked up and noticed something in the dark. She saw several figures approaching. She recognized Carlos and the other farmers. At this distance, however, the vampires looked like regular gunslingers trailing behind them. Rosario let out a loud whistle. Her father stuck his head out the window.
What now?
Rosario gestured at the farmers.
Well, I'll be damned.
As the farmers and the vampires entered the outskirts of Rio Sangre, Priest paused for a moment, eyeing a tall mountain that loomed in the distance. Shade noticed.
You all right? You got a funny look on your face.
Just been a while since I've been through here.
As they entered the main streets, a crowd started to gather. Herman's wife ran up and threw her arms around him.
Querida, I was so worried. I missed you so much.
Herman's wife smothered him with kisses. His kids climbed all over him.
I'm fine. Calm down.
Are those the gunfighters you brought? They look tough.
Herman pulled her close.
Get the kids out of here. Go home.
What? Why?
Because just go.
Carlos's wife, Ester, rushed up to him. He hugged her, but his expression was grim. She noticed.
What's the matter?
Take the baby home.
Ester was confused. Nearby, Rosario stared at Priest as he walked past wearing a bandana over his face. She was transfixed by his dark, strange eyes. Umbaldo counted the gunslingers and threw up his hands.
The fools only got 5. Great! We're definitely screwed now.
As the farmers and the vampires moved towards the main square, a woman knelt in front of Razors and held up a plate of buns. Razors picked up a bun and bit off a chunk with his fangs. He spit it out at the woman's feet. Her face went pale. She dropped the plate and ran away. Priest shook his head.
Not the introduction I was hoping for.
Might as well get it over with.
As the vampires moved into the light, everyone realized what they were. Gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd.
Dios mío, they are monsters! Vampiros! Vampiros!
Women grabbed their children and hurried away. Men grabbed pitchforks and machetes to protect themselves. A farmer named Manuel cried out to Fernando.
Padre, what have you done?
Do not be afraid. These individuals are here to protect us. We have an agreement with them.
You've made a pact with the devil. The crowd yelled and raised crosses at the vampires. The vampires hissed at them. The crowd retreated. Carlos stepped forward.
Calm down. This was the only choice.
Snake Eyes turned to Razors.
This isn't panning out.
Well, if it turns to crap, I know I ain't going back to Santa Fe on an empty stomach.
See? They want to eat us.
Priest stepped forward. He looked across the crowd.
You have my word. We didn't come here to kill you.
The word of a vampire? Ha!
Wait!
What for?
No, shut up, listen!
Everyone quieted down. Faintly, they heard the thundering sound of many horses approaching. It was growing louder. Suddenly, men on horseback roared into Rio Sangre from every direction. It was the bandit army. The bandits shot anything that moved. Oh! The bandits hurled lit torches into buildings, setting them on fire. The farmers rushed to protect the storage sheds that held their grain. Protect the harvest! But they were no match for the bandits and started falling back. The vampires stood in the main square, watching the fight, not moving a muscle. Carlos turned to Razors, who was calmly picking his teeth.
They'll kill everyone! Do something! Stop them!
Herman got down on his knees and began groveling.
Please, help us!
I thought you didn't want the help of the devil.
Who gives a damn what those idiots said? You made a deal with us!
Forget it, the deal's off.
Snake Eyes started to walk away. Fernando ran in front of Priest.
It's just the shock of it all. These are simple people. Priest, I beg you, honor your word.
Priest paused. He looked around, watching the slaughter. He rubbed the locket around his neck.
A deal's a deal.
He bared his fangs and started walking towards the center of the square. Nightwing and the other vampires looked at each other. Razor shrugged. One by one, they joined Priest. The vampires stood in a row in the middle of the town square as a horde of bandits on horseback charged them. Snake Eyes took his hands out of his pockets and shook them, loosening them up. Nightwing cracked his knuckles. Shade licked her fingertips. Razors took a sip of his tequila blood. The bandits were almost upon them now. One of them fired his six-shooter, blasting a huge hole in Razor's forehead. Blood oozed down between his eyes.
He's gonna pay for that.
The bandits were almost upon them now. Priest cried out.
Now!
Priest leaped in the air and landed on a bandit's horse. He thrust his fist into the chest of the rider and tore his heart out. Snake Eyes whipped out his pistols and emptied lead into a dozen bandits. Shade's long nails shot out, cutting the throats of several men. Razor threw his coat open to reveal dozens of throwing knives. In a flash, he hurled them in every direction, taking out bandits with pinpoint accuracy. Nearby, Nightwing stood his ground as two bandits rode straight for him. He dodged their horses and stuck his arms out, clotheslining the two men. From a window in her father's store, Rosario watched Priest kill three bandits with his bare hands. She was horrified and awestruck. Just then, a bullet ripped into the window pane above her head. Umbaldo pulled her away.
Get down!
On the far side of town, General Maximo and his lieutenants saw the vampires ripping his men to pieces.
What the hell?
One of his henchmen pulled out a shotgun and a Bowie knife. I'll handle this. Ah! The lieutenant charged forward. He made it past Nightwing and unloaded his shotgun point blank into Shade's face, blasting her off her feet. Eat that bitch. But then, suddenly, Shade jumped up and upended his horse. He landed on the ground at Priest's feet. The bandit jumped up and slashed at him. Priest caught him by the wrist and snapped his Bowie knife in two. The bandit stared at him in shock. Priest ripped his head off and hurled it up the street. The head bounced along the ground for a few yards and then rolled to a stop at General Maximo's feet. The vampire squared off again, blocking the way to the storage sheds. General Maximo stared at them, considering his options. He let out a whistle and cried out.
Ándale pues!
General Maximo turned his horse around and led his men out of town. After the bandits had thundered away, Carlos threw his arms around Fernando.
They did it! They did it!
Fernando looked around, eyeing the bloody scene.
Dios mío. This is horrible.
Paco walked into the street. Suddenly, a bloody hand grabbed him by the ankle. It was a half-dead bandit. He looked up at Paco with pleading eyes.
Please, Joven. Some water, por favor.
Paco yanked his foot loose. Umbaldo stepped forward, sneering at the dying man.
Drink this, you bastard!
Around town, farmers slowly came out of hiding. They awkwardly began to thank the vampires. Men tipped their hats or nodded slightly. The farmer named Manuel approached Razors and stammered out. Gracias, senor. Razors smiled a twisted grin.
That's my pleasure.
Just then, Razor suddenly leaped on a wounded bandit, sinking his fangs into his neck. Manuel grimaced in horror and backed away. The other vampires, except for Priest, also set upon the wounded bandits, biting them and draining them of their blood. Fernando turned to Carlos.
They shouldn't kill the wounded. It's not Christian.
But just then, an old woman with tears in her eyes spoke up. She was kneeling in front of a dead young farmer.
Those mangy dogs killed my son. They don't deserve any pity.
The other farmers nodded in agreement. Nearby, Snake Eyes was sucking a man dry. He turned to Priest.
Come on, boss. There's plenty to go around.
No thanks.
Suit yourself.
Priest walked away, disappearing into the dark streets of Rio Sangre. Razors watched him go, and then shook his head.
What's his problem? Guy thinks he's different. He's just a bloodsucker like the rest of us.
A few moments later, Priest walked down a quiet alley. He stared down at his hands. They were covered with blood. Nearby, Rosario appeared. She stared at Priest for a moment. She was about to leave, when suddenly, Priest spoke to her.
What do you want?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
Rosario started to walk away, but Priest suddenly appeared in front of her. Blood was dripping from his hands and mouth.
You want to see a real monster? Well, here you go. Take a good look.
Rosario took a step back. Their eyes met. Rosario stared into Priest's eyes. They were sad and full of pain, just like hers. Just then, the locket suddenly fell from Priest's neck. They both looked down at it. Priest bent down and picked it up. He tucked it quickly away into his pocket.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to take it out on you. It's just that even after all these years, it doesn't get any easier for me.
Priest walked over to a water trough. He plunged his hands in and washed away the blood.
They were bad men. They had it coming.
They're still men.
Priest looked at her.
I was one too once.
Just then Umbaldo came into the alley. Priest disappeared in a cloud of dust. Umbaldo marched over to his daughter.
What are you doing? Who are you talking to?
No one.
Liar! You were talking to one of them!
Umbaldo seized Rosario by the hair.
Let go!
Umbaldo dragged her away, heading back to his house.
Stop!
At that moment, on the mountain that overlooked Rio Sangre, a dark figure stepped out of a cave. They stood for a moment on the edge of the cliff, looking down at Rio Sangre. They watched as Priest joined the other vampires, staring at him with a pair of glowing red eyes. End of episode 2. Stay tuned for the next chapter of Rio Sangre.